Recognizes the gentleman from Texas's 33rd District for 5 minutes for questions.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. And as someone that is getting ready to kick off the start of the outdoor sportsman season, I really hate that something like managing water has become so controversial, managing our natural resources so we can continue to do things like enjoy the great outdoors. It's just really sad that we're here. Energy efficiency is not about taking away choices. It's about trying to lower bills, reducing strain on the grid, and strengthening U.S. energy independence. And like I said last week, energy efficiency has a long bipartisan tradition. Of course, Congress passed the EPCA in the 1970s to reduce waste and support American innovation. And then you have the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007, where you had 95 Republicans voting yes, and that created the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Program, and that's when President George W. Bush from my state was President of the United States. And so today, strong efficiency standards reduce demand at peak hours, which helps keep the lights on and lowers the risk of blackouts, especially in a fast-growing state like ours, where it's a much bigger concern about how we use these resources. Weatherization, stronger codes, updated standards, cut household costs month to month while improving comfort and health. And so we want to make sure that we're obviously cutting waste at home and in buildings. And so that also means that we have to make sure that that we're making sure that it's not as volatile of an energy market and more homegrown energy independence. And for low-income families, especially and renters, that have to spend a disproportionate amount of their income on energy, energy efficiency is one of the easiest ways to help deliver relief and improve quality of life. That's one of the reasons why I'm co-sponsor of the reauthorization of the ECBG program, and I support strengthening the weatherization assistance program to also help low-income households. And like I said last week, American engineers and manufacturers have been at the forefront of appliance innovation for a century, and we don't want to walk back those standards so we can let the Chinese take over the space. That would be scary if the Chinese took over this space and they were the ones that were doing all the innovation in this area. And so let's be smart, let's be clear, let's be honest about it, that efficiency and codes are not mandates. They're smart cost savings investments that expand consumer choice and give families healthier, more affordable homes. We want to make sure not to gut DOE's authorities in ways that create regulatory uncertainty and hurts manufacturers and drive up costs for families. And so, Mr. Novak, I wanted to ask you, manufacturers have said they want clear and consistent certification requirements. Wouldn't gutting DOE's authority to set efficiency standards create confusion and raise costs for businesses?
Manufacturers benefit, obviously, from certainty. There are tooling costs, there are lead times to retooling. And to be blunt, standards and they have competitive effects, right? Competitors have to meet a particular standard. The standard, in some ways, becomes a bit of a competitive moat. There are a lot of policy puts and takes around this, around efficiency. And I think the proposed legislation, at least as I read it, as I understand it, it isn't the abandonment of efficiency. I think it's sharpening the analysis that we undertake when we look at whether an efficiency gain makes sense. If it's a marginal efficiency gain that comes at the cost of significant utility, that's something that doesn't seem like a wise policy choice.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this real quick too before my time expires. I know that several of the bills would scale back DOE's ability to set or update appliance standards. Wouldn't that basically be given the Chinese companies that are under control of the Chinese Communist Party? Wouldn't that be that are trying to aggressively move into this high efficiency appliance market? Wouldn't that give them an advantage over American companies? Why would we want to do that why would we want to give the Chinese an advantage?
I'm not quite sure I understand the premise of the question in regard to the competitive advantage that this would give a geopolitical competitor in terms of access to our market. Again, my understanding of the intent of the bill, my read of the bill, is that this was something that would focus, it would localize, if you will, the analysis that we do to make sure that efficiency makes sense at the appliance level. The appliance does what it's supposed to do. Somebody's not having to do multiple cycles on something, that the energy gains we're chasing with efficiency, that there's some significance threshold there, that we're not getting into that diminishing return issue. But I think, you know, in a free marketplace such as ours, people will meet that consumer need. They'll meet that consumer
The
demand.
gentleman's time has expired and yields back. The chair now